How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the journey. Today is a good episode. I think it's probably going to be the turning point in a lot of people's lives, just due to the fact that it's something that we all do that we're not even conscious of. All right. So if you're new to the podcast, my name is the real Mr. Marcelle, aka your favorite loan officer, and this podcast is called The Journey. It's a journey of life. It's a journey on helping you to become better. I want you to become the best version of yourself, and the only way to do it is to start the journey today. We go over health, we go over wealth, we go over fitness tips, we go over money tips, and of course, business tips, because you guys know I love business. Now, today we're talking about today's episode 7, obviously, and today we're talking about words and the power of words. So I'm going to tell you guys a quick story and then we'll dive in. There was a gentleman called Masari Imoto. I hope I did not butcher that name, but anyway, he was a gentleman that wanted to study and experiment on the power of words. So what he did was he had different water jugs, water jugs, and he would say things to the jugs. He would say, "I love you. I appreciate you. Positivity." He would say negative things. "I hate you. You're horrible." Blah blah blah. And then he would say a whole bunch of ones. I think he did, if I remember correctly, like 50 different jugs. Right. Then he froze the water. Right. So there's nothing different but what he's saying to the water. Then he freezes it and he looks at the crystallization of the water. Do you know that the ones that had negative things, the crystal formed in ugly formations? Take it a step further. He did it with music. He did it with words, music, and I think he did it with something else. And a lot of people try to replicate it. So what they did, and you can do this at home if you have kids, this is a wonderful exercise to do with the kids to show them the power of words. You just get some white rice. I believe, yeah, you just get white rice. I don't think you boil it or anything. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't tried the experiment yet. But you get white rice and you're going to put it in a jug and you're going to say negative things or a glass, negative things to the rice. "I hate you. I hate you. I can't stand you." 3 negative things every day. They say it's usually between a week to a month. The things, the jug or the jar that you said negative things to, the rice actually starts changing. The jar that you said the positive things to stays white. The reason being is there's power in the words that you say. We don't perceive our words as being powerful, but they have immense repercussions. And when you're saying something, whether you believe it or not, you're putting power into the speech, which creates an outcome. That's why they always say in any positive books that you're reading, control what you say and control what you think, because you're creating an outcome whether you want it or not. Your brain can't dis decipher if you're saying something truthful or not. It just knows you're saying something. So if you say, "I want $1 million," your brain's like, "Okay, let's get this $1 million. Let's create it. Let's start formulating a plan." If you say, "I'm a horrible person," your brain doesn't know. Even if you're joking, your brain doesn't recognize that. Saying, "I guess I'm horrible," and you create that. Your words have power. So it's funny. This is So that was one thing, right? I'm reading a book. As you guys know, I love reading. Well, I'm listening to an audiobook called The Four Agreements. Now, I already read it, so I'm just going back over it. And instead of reading the book again, because I'm already reading 2 different books, I decided to listen to the audio. And guess what's the first agreement? Guessed it. The power of your words. In it, the author is talking about how you have 2 powers when it comes to your words. You have the power to say something to you, so about yourself, but you also have the power to say something about someone else. So you can either talk life into yourself or you could talk life into someone else. But you, the same way you can talk it to them, you can talk badly into their life. He says this is one of the most powerful things we have as humans, and we tend to use it the incorrect way. Now, it gets even better Because in the second agreement, right, there's obviously the book's called Four Agreements, so there's four different agreements. These are agreements that we have with life. The second agreement talks about how it's up to you whether you believe it or you don't. So just because someone says something negative to you, you don't have to believe it. You can say, you know what? They must be going through a tough time. They call me ugly, but that's just their perception. I don't think I'm ugly. So, you know what? I'm not going to agree with that, and I'm going to leave it there, thus blocking their spiritual words that they're saying to you. Now, I know this is kind of deep, and I know it takes a second to actually understand and grasp the concept, but it's true. And the reason why I started off with the story about the water is so this concept, which is the same continuation, isn't too far fetched. But it's been scientifically proven that the words have power. The same way that they've done it with plants and having the plants hear happy songs and having a plant hear negative things, whether you talk to it or not. The music, the words, the sounds, it all has vibrations and it creates life. It literally creates, helps the plants grow stronger or causes them to die based off the words that you're saying. That's why a lot of people say I talk or I sing to my plants because it can help them grow. So think about that. If you're saying negative things to yourself, you're not growing. You're causing yourself to decay. So if you say, "Oh, I'm always tired. I'm always sick. I'm always injured," what do you think is going to happen? You're creating your future. So going through this journey, I want you guys to use positive words and positive affirmations into yourself. Speak life into you and be careful what you're saying to other people or about other people because you can put a spell on them with your words and not even know it. This is deep. This is what's going to change your life. I guarantee it. And now I'm being more conscious about what I say and even what I think. And that's a hard thing to do because we all have negative thoughts sometimes. It just comes in. Not every day you're all ha ha, smiling, thing like that. But you have to try your best to control what you're thinking, what you're saying, because it comes true. So, as I was saying with the second agreement, now it's up to you whether you believe what someone else is saying about you. You have that pact. It's an agreement. So just because someone feels like that or says something about you, you don't have to take it in. You don't have to take it personal. And that's what the author says. He said, don't take things personal. It is not personal. It is their belief in their systems. Now, you taking it personal is now agreement. You're agreeing to the words that they're saying. So you are giving up your power because you agreed to the statement. So don't agree with it. Just don't take it serious. For example, I had a client today. Um, I can't really remember her name, but I texted her at 7:30. Normally when I'm getting in the office, I'm getting ready. I'm making sure I do my morning stuff. So I just texted her, "Hey, good morning. I just wanted to. I was finding out more about her situation because she's trying to get a mortgage, and we were supposed to do a phone call, but she was busy. No problem. Life happens. Things happen. I didn't take it personally." So now I message her at 7:35 in the morning, like, "Hey, good morning. Just wanted to find out like what was your credit score. I'm just trying to figure out like if we can still do a mortgage. Is there anything I could do?" She said she was already working with a credit specialist last night. So I'm just trying to figure out what I can do because my job is to help. I love helping people. I want to help as many people as I can. I can't help everyone because, like I said in the previous episodes, you have to help people who are willing to show you that they're able to help. But you do not want to put extra barriers in their place. And since she couldn't talk on the phone yesterday when we were supposed to meet, I figured, you know what, Malcolm? Text her. Let's do a conversation through a text. No problem. I'm fine with that. As long as I'm able to give her the service that I think she deserves or any of my clients deserve. So I texted 7:35. So, hey, good morning, blah, blah, blah. I just want to figure out what's going on. And she said, are you serious? You can't be serious texting me this early. And I was like, 7:35. I personally didn't think that was that early. I didn't text you at 5 in the morning. 7:35, 7 o'clock. Most people are driving to work, especially if you start a job where you work at 8 or 9. You're leaving, you're driving there. So I thought it was a good time, and it wasn't too early. It wasn't late enough into the day where you're already working. You're probably not looking at your phone. So I thought I caught it right at a good time. And as you guys know, I have multiple jobs, so most of my clients have different times. Some of them work nights, so they're texting me at 11, 12, and they're not getting off until about 8 o'clock. So 7:30 works out. And if you're going in mornings, if you're starting at 7:30 might be a little too late, but it's not too busy in your day where it's too much. So I'm thinking like, yo, Malcolm, that was a perfect time. Like, you did a good job. And it shows that when I wake up, I'm concerned about my clients. I didn't text you at 1 o'clock in the morning. So my response to her was, hey, I apologize if I woke you up. She said, this is very unprofessional right now. So I had to say, hey, I work with clients who work different schedules, and I texted you just to make sure that we can finish the conversation. And I respected you enough not to call you to wake you up. It's a text message. It beeps once. And with a text message, you don't have to answer right away. It's not like I'm calling you and you need to pick up. The funny part was, once I texted her, she responded within minutes. Not even minutes, seconds. So that means you were already up. Because no way one text message is waking you up from your sleep. So I had the option to take what she said and say, hey, you're being very unprofessional. I could have took her words and been like, took it personal, like the second agreement. But instead, I said, no, your words have power. I'm not taking this personal. I understand you're not used to great service. You're not used to someone going out their way to help you, to make sure that you're able to get the house that you want. You're not used to my service. You're not used to someone being so attentive to your needs that they're following up from a conversation that we had yesterday to make sure. You're not used to someone who is following up with you even though you missed the phone call that we were supposed to do. You're not used to that. So it's not your fault. So you call me unprofessional is not really true. It's just my professionalism is so much, it's so superb than what most people are used to, that it seems like it's discourteous. But it was never my intention to be discourteous. I was just trying to show you that I wake up early, I'm on time, and I'm just here to help because that's what I want to do. I want to help as many people as possible. So based off the second agreement, I didn't take it personal. And I said, you know what? I'm not for everyone. I understand if you're not used to my service. I apologize. And that's what I did. I didn't obviously go into this rant, but I apologized to her and let her know, you know what? I apologize. And I spoke with other people, and they said 7:30 wasn't that early. But going forward, I probably won't do 7:30. I'll probably do 8 o'clock, and that's when I would respond to a text message. But I always firmly believe that you do not call your client that early, because you just never know. Unless you know their schedule and they say, hey, yeah, call me as soon as you get up. Call me at 7:30, no problem. That's how I am. So it was up to me to decide if I should take it personally or not. So the first and second agreement was used in one day. And this is how I want you guys to go forward. When things happen to you and you feel like someone is saying something that could be considered negative, do not let those words impact who you are. Don't agree to what they're saying about you. You can choose whether you accept it or not. And that is the second agreement. So maybe tomorrow we'll talk about the third agreement because that one's just as good. But the key is your words have power. So use your words wisely. Use them to put life into people. Use it to create the lifestyle that you want and what you want, your outcomes that you want for yourself, your family, your friends. And if you don't have nothing nice to say, the saying is true. Just don't say nothing at all. You know what? Instead of cursing someone out, I'm just going to hold it in because I don't want to give my power up. Saying something negative is still using your power on someone else. Why use it on them when you can use it on yourself? I don't have to say nothing negative. You know what? It is what it is. I'm not even going to entertain that. I'm going to keep going and being positive and putting more positivity in my life because I want to use my power for myself, my family, my friends, and to create more generational wealth, to empower my community, to help more people. So that's where I'm using my voice. I'm using my voice to help you guys. See, this is how I choose to use my words and how I'm going to create more millionaires. So follow the journey, follow yourself. This is the first and second agreement. I hope you learned something in this podcast because I'm dropping bombs like boom, boom, boom. Use your words wisely, use your power wisely, and don't take things personal. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Over and out.